Hello, everyone. Joshua Short with you. We are live, looking at some live pictures right now out of LaPorte County. These pictures are pretty horrific, to be honest with you, of what we're seeing right now. I am going to bring myself up in. We are in the newsroom right now where you're seeing me again. Joshua Short with you. Thank you so much for joining us on Facebook Live and on our streaming channels as well, wherever you're watching us right now. I want to try my best to set the scene for you. I'm going to bring just myself into this right now because we have a reporter who has to get set up. So to our photojournalist, Don Schoenfield, you can begin to set Emma up because I am going to go to Emma here momentarily. So those images you just saw, those pictures were from LaPorte County, where we're learning about a serious crash. We can now say, based on our eyes and what we're hearing, involving not one, but two mini buses. Those mini buses, those school districts and corporations usually use to carry teams. We're told these are two mini buses, and included in these buses are members of a team. We believe in some way to be athletic teams, obviously. We are waiting to get that specified information, that verified info. I understand you are seeing things. We are seeing the same things. We see exactly what people have seen on Facebook, the pictures, the posts, the parents who are concerned, obviously so. With that, I am about to bring in Emma Brott into the conversation momentarily, but I want to just give you guys a little bit of that precursor. We are just still trying to understand all of this. We can tell you we just got a news release from LaPorte County via email in the last 10 minutes. That news release having a little bit of information in it, not much in terms of the severity of injuries. We're still trying to figure that out. How many people are injured? Are they teachers? Are they students? Are they both? We're trying to figure out all of that information right now, but we want to be responsible in the way that we report this, because we know, as you've seen before on this very platform, people think they know a story and then facts change, right? And so once those facts are revealed, we will report them to you. And so with that, I want to bring in Emma Brott, who is live outside of this horrific scene in LaPorte County. Emma, just take us through the last several minutes, if not the last hour for you and your team there, what you've seen and what you're hearing.
Yeah, Josh, we've been out here for almost 45 minutes. Right now, you can hear a little bit of noise. I do have to say that noise is actually someone with a blower, one of those lawn care blowers on their back. That's what that noise is, if you can hear that in the background. And you can see right now, the tow truck is taking away one of the two buses that crashed, those mini buses you were just talking about. They're towing away that one. Now, that one is the one that we can see from this angle. It actually took less damage than the other one that's just out of our point of view over here, that's behind the trees. But you can see they're finally taking that bus away. And we know that this crash happened at 3:16, which was confirmed by the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office. And right now, we are in Central Time, and it's 6:07, so that's how long it's taken to just get everything sorted and to move this bus out of the way. They are still working on the bus that is just around the corner here. Now, we were told to stay kind of away from the scene. They're working on the scene right now. You could see a sheriff's car passing by, leaving the scene right now. They've been working out here for hours. We've just seen them, try to do what they need to do with that bus that's flipped over. They're trying to sort that out. We're trying to figure out if they're going to tow that one away and what they're doing. What we do know is that everyone that was here involved in this crash has been transported. So we know that there are no people here right now that are injured or that were part of this crash right now. So in a way, that is good news. And during these 45 minutes that we've been out here, we have not seen a coroner. That doesn't mean that a coroner hasn't come out here. That is just not what we've seen in the time that we've been out here. So again, we are just trying to learn as much as we can about the people involved in this crash. And we know it's a 4-vehicle crash, including those two minibuses. That is what we know right now. We haven't been able to talk much to the sheriff's office. We know the Indiana State Police are here as well. This is a team effort to get everything sorted with this investigation, but right now it is under the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office. They're the ones dealing with this right now. We were told that this is treated as a criminal matter at this point, but we understand that the reason for this is because they just need to rule that out before they can go about the rest of the investigation. That doesn't necessarily mean that this is a criminal case.
Got it.
And I was able to speak to a resident who lived right at this corner, and she was just telling me she's seen helicopters out here, medical helicopters. She's seen at least 30 police officers out here. So, you know, before what you're seeing right now, it was a lot bigger of a scene. Many streets around here are closed off, and this is just what we're seeing right now.
I want to just several things. First of all, thank you. This is in-depth reporting, and this is breaking news, and so we're learning as you are, and vice versa. You mentioned something that is new to me, and I think because you're talking directly to some of the investigators here on scene. So it appears, and this has happened in other investigations. In fact, anybody watching right now, as you can hear the choppers over your head, the news choppers there. Anybody from our area know we've had one too many crashes involving buses with students getting hurt. We have talked about it ad nauseum. I've been here since 2017. I can tell you, this is a sickening sense of deja vu in so many ways. I want to mention a couple of things.
Yeah.
You said that this is being looked into as a criminal investigation, but based on my understanding and based on some reporting in the past on situations like these, that is so that they have as much in terms of resources as possible at the early stages of this investigation. But you also said something else. That is so that they can rule it out, because there's no backtracking once you say, you know, this is not criminal, and then you have to backtrack, right? And so they're doing that up front. Do I have that correct? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you're right. That's exactly what we heard from the sheriff's office. They said that it was very brief, but they said exactly that. It's treated as a criminal case first so that they can rule that out and go about the rest of the case.
I want to read something while you are there really quickly, just so you are up to date, just in case you have not seen this. There's a joint statement that was put out in the last 40 minutes from LaPorte County Sheriff's Office, and we saw for the first time the name on the side of that bus, the New Prairie United School Corporation, obviously in LaPorte County. The joint statement is as follows. I'm going to read it right off my phone. It says, this afternoon at 3:16 p.m. Keep in mind, this is right on the border of Eastern and Central Time. I believe this is Central Time where you are as we take a look at the logo there. This is what they're saying in a joint statement. This afternoon at 3:16, deputies responded to the intersection of US 20 and Fail Road, right where you are, Emma, referencing a multi-vehicle crash. A total of 4 vehicles were involved in the crash. 2 New Prairie United School Corporation minibuses, 1 commercial motor vehicle, and a single axle box truck. The minibuses were transporting members of an athletic team. More on that team in just a second. Several subjects were injured and transported to area hospitals for treatment. The crash is under investigation and no further information is being released at this time. And now the only other information that we're getting from you is that early on in this investigation, it appears that they are leading this investigation off, looking into it as potentially criminal, but again, a lot more time when it comes to that. Emma Brott reporting for us. Emma, really quickly, I know you got there about 45 minutes to an hour ago. Anything open up yet in terms of the roads? It seems like things are still on lockdown as you can hear the news choppers overhead.
Yeah, you know, we've been over here for a long time, and the road coming up here, up Fail Road. It was blocked off, a few intersections down there. The only reason we were able to come through is because they saw the news car and they let us through. So we actually, just right before we went live with you, Josh, we saw some residents pull up and come to the scene. They said that it took them almost an hour to just get home, and they live right by this intersection. So those roads have definitely still halted a lot of traffic around this entire area. We haven't left the area since, but we have heard from residents that live around here. It took so long to just get home because of all of these roadblocks all around this intersection here.
Emma Brott reporting. Emma, we appreciate your reporting. I know you're going to be out there for a few more minutes as you continue to look into this investigation. So I'm going to ask you to stand by if you can. I'm going to bring your volume down. I know you're working your sources and trying to figure things out there. So I'm going to do that right now. And then I will bring your volume up in a few minutes. So just so your team is aware of what we're doing here. Again, Emma Brott reporting there from a still very active scene in LaPorte County, right off US 20 there in Fail, where this is started just around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock our time. We had a few calls into our newsroom about this just after 5 o'clock. So about an hour after this happened is when we began to hear about it. And that's when we sent our team to that location. I am going to make sure that Don has time to move around. So I'm going to come back here into our newsroom directly. I want to let you guys know a few things. I'm just going to let the curtain back a little bit and let you guys know what we're working on right now in terms of news gathering. I can tell you our sports team has been all over the story as soon as they heard about it. I can tell you that our Jackson Neal has been reaching out to New Prairie's baseball head coach and also reached out to the school's athletic director, and he's still waiting to get word from them. We say New Prairie because obviously it is the athletic team that is involved here, baseball specifically. As I go back to the scene, I want to show you guys there, just getting that bus out of there. This appears to be the second bus. And I want to bring Emma in really quickly. Emma, I know you can still hear me. Is this the second bus they're moving out of there, Emma? Based on what I've seen, I believe it may be.
Yeah,
is this
that's
true?
right, Josh.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, that is that other bus. That was the one that we cannot see around this corner, but we do have some pictures I'm sure everyone has seen at this point of that bus. That one was the one that was on its side. They were working on that one. It sounded like the jaws of life when we showed up that they were working on that bus, but that was the flipped over bus that was on its right side, and now they're towing that one away. So that's right, Josh.
And we're looking at these pictures with you, Emma. You can't see them, I know, but we're looking at the pictures that a viewer, Michelle, sent in of said buses that you just mentioned there, including the one that was just taken off further away from where it landed on its side. We see those pictures. They are hard to see. They're hard to look at. So we're seeing those pictures right there. Emma, I appreciate it. I know you were working there trying to figure out some more information, so I'll let you do that. Again, thank you. As we continue to look at these pictures, I want to bring in this drone video. By the way, courtesy of Steve Hampton, who sent this in. Our team working to show you as many parts of the scene, and you can see it from high above, the EMS vehicles there. And if you look closely at one point in this video, it appears multiple, possibly students, teens. We're not sure if they're from the area or if they're from one of those buses. You can see right there along the railing. All roads are shut down in that area. As we take a look back at the scene live, that is the hazardous, it looks like, material emergency response because of the number of vehicles involved. I want to let you guys know that this is being led by the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office. That is who's leading this, okay? So that's the investigation. They're being led by them. But state police are assisting right now. And it is heart-rending to look at these images because it's not one but multiple school buses. Look, as I come back here into the newsroom, I want to let you guys know why this is, for us, it is something that we don't want to hear, that we don't want to report on, primarily because we reported on so many of these crashes in our area involving school buses. Whether you talk about what took place in 2018, where 3 kids ended up dying as a result of a car that ran past a school bus. I know that wasn't technically a bus crash, but I know a lot of people have followed that as such. You talk about another accident on, I believe this is also in Marshall County or in Marshall County, where there was a bus involved just several months after that one. You talk about more recently, I believe it was in 2020, I believe it was 2022 or 23. We just told you about this. Another bus crash south of our viewing area involving an athletic team. And so you see this now, and you can only hope and wish and pray that the people involved are doing okay. And that's when I want to get to your comments here on Facebook. I am trying my best to, produce this here and also work with our reporter on scene and look at text messages and emails. So forgive me. I'm going to try my best to look at some of the Facebook comments to see what you guys are saying. Forgive me. I'm going to ask you for forbearance in advance. I've got allergies going on right now, so if you hear me sniffing, I know it can be annoying. My apologies to you and yours. If you have allergies or suffer from allergies, you get it. So I just want to say that right away as you guys are listening to me right now. We've got a lot of folks who are commenting on our Facebook page. I want to see what you guys are saying. A lot of people sending their thoughts, their prayers. We've got about 800 people watching right now, at least on our Facebook. Hundreds, if not thousands more watching on whatever you're watching on television right now, the associated apps here on 60 News Now, which we appreciate, by the way. Look, we are in our newsroom that is actively working on this, and we heard about this shortly before 5:30. We got a call into our newsroom. One of our producers answered the call from a neighbor nearby and said, hey, look, I don't know if you know about this, but this is unfolding right now. And then we began to see some of the reports that came in. And once we saw that, I hate to say this, but we just kind of put it in autopilot, and we knew what we needed to do because we've covered so many stories that are similar to this one. Although we don't know specifics right now in terms of how many people have been injured, who, their ages, the severity, right? As we can eerily hear sirens in the background here where I am in South Bend. This is for those of you who are not from our area, who are watching. We are in South Bend, Indiana, where I am right now. This is in LaPorte County, okay? So where this scene is, and I'm going to show the scene, Don, if you can hear me, I'm going to show that scene right now so that people can have a little bit of perspective. I still have your volume down, Don, so you don't have to worry about that. But this right here is where everything is unfolding. That is LaPorte County, and this is about 40 minutes or so away from where we are right now. In fact, it is 40 minutes west of where we are in South Bend, and we are basically on the dividing line of time zones. So right there where you're looking at, that is Central Time. We are in Eastern Time right now. So when you hear the times, I know that can be a little bit confusing possibly. But again, it happened around 3 o'clock, just after 3. That is just after 4 o'clock our time. So we were already on the air when this actually took place. And we're still trying to figure out exactly what happened here. Multiple vehicles involved in this. Obviously, students involved in this. I'm going to look over my shoulder, if I can, briefly to my producer, because as I come back in the newsroom, Don, you're clear for now. What team was that? I believe there was a varsity and JV baseball game planned, and that was canceled. And that was canceled about an hour after we heard about this accident. This crash is when we heard that the junior varsity and varsity baseball games involving New Prairie High School, those games were canceled. And so that's when we began to connect the dots. We also saw things online and on social media. I want to look here, and yep, Sarah confirms what I and other team members have been seeing. I want to ask you, and thank you for pointing that out, Tina. This is something we talk about often on these Facebook Lives. I know that it's frustrating because we live in a world where everything is here and everything is quick and immediate, and it's instant gratification and satisfaction to know something right away. And I have to be careful as a journalist to make sure that what we are reporting, responsibly doing so, okay? Because we can't just go on here and tell you what we believe is happening, what we think is happening, what we're hearing, because that is technically not fact, and things change, things evolve, okay? And then also, there are parents out there who don't know where their child is right now. We can confirm that without going into detail. We can tell you there are people who work in this building who have a very close, in terms of proximity, relationship with what's happening in this news story right now and trying to figure things out involving their own kids. And so that's why this story has to be reported with care, because as we try to figure out the facts, and we're doing so, again, contemporaneously as I'm talking to you, we have producers and reporters trying to figure things out, trying to figure out what's happening, trying to figure out what's going on, and looking on Facebook as well, trying to figure out the facts of what's happening. And I say facts, and I want to underscore that. We know NDOT has said that area has been closed off for a while now. In fact, we can tell you it's still closed off. That is something that has not changed right now. We can tell you that based on traffic-wise and NDOT cameras in the area and other NDOT sources that entire area is still closed off. That has not changed. What we know about where the victims have been taken, that has not changed. We can tell you that in our area, Memorial Hospital is the trauma hospital. Obviously, we know there's another hospital near this location, but we don't know that information. We have asked and requested that information. I can tell you when we first heard about this situation unfolding, I made a call to the dispatchers in LaPorte County, and they did not give any information, but you can sense the urgency in their voices. They could not provide us with any information. That is when we called the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department initially could not provide any information, and that is when we eventually heard from a spokesperson with the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office. I want to go back to that scene really quickly because this is the logo that is so familiar to so many families out there with the New Prairie corporation, and that is the concern right now. So many families trying to figure out, is my child okay? And there is the bus as it is leaving right there. You can see the bus taking off, and we're just trying to figure out. We're just trying to figure out the facts, and it's sad to see that, because it's not one but two buses. This is the scene from earlier. Before I go to what I want to see, you see that tow truck behind that bus there. I want to go back to the aerial video here, and this is courtesy of Steve Hampton from that area off Phelan US 20. You can see the scope, the magnitude of where this happened and where this took place. I have been told to read my messenger, so I'm going to do that, because I know a lot of people who are watching us right now, wherever you're watching us, they know that I have a very active Facebook page. Joshua Short WNDU, or Joshua Short TV rather, is a place that you can see or message me any information. I don't have to use your name. Obviously, we want to be respectful in that regard, but we are trying to figure that out. Our Emma Broad is still working there on scene, trying to get information. I can tell you that we know that right now, so we'll bring you updates as soon as we get it. I can tell you that we are, and I have not checked my messenger, but I am looking right now, and I can tell you there is nothing there of him that I see from related to this, but I am looking to make sure. This is unconfirmed information. Actually, we can tell you, and our Emma Broad did report this, and I'm going to come back out to the newsroom so you guys can see what you're hearing, obviously. I can tell you that at least one person was taken to the hospital. According to neighbors, several med flights, those helicopters, were on scene at one point. That is something that neighbors did say. Another neighbor says to me, 2 players were probably airlifted to Memorial and others transported by ambulance. But that's all we know at this point, based off of what neighbors are telling us, who are very close to this scene. And that is in conjunction with what we know from the sheriff's office right now. That is the latest information that we can bring you. I am still looking at your Facebook comments, but I can't tilt my head down because, again, I got some allergies that are bothering me today, so my apologies. But I am trying my best to confirm this information. And again, the pictures that I'm seeing that people are sending me that are from that area, from that community, is really hard to see. I am going to bring up another image for you guys. I'm being told by my producer that we have, and I am working on that. So let me try to do this in real time. I want to show you guys a map of where this is happening, where this is taking place. And while you guys don't see me, I'm going to try and blow my nose, and then I'm going to let you guys know what else we know in terms of the big takeaway so far. So this is a map. You can see where it is. I'll take this lower third down so you can see it in full. The epicenter of this investigation is on US 20 and North Vale, okay? That is in LaPorte County. I am going to bring up another image here if I can, and I'm going to do so briefly because I want to show you guys what we know. This is just and I kind of just said this already, but I just want to, remind you all of what we're learning. So the JV baseball game, this is from Hobart. The JV baseball game at home versus New Prairie, that was canceled. Also from Hobart High School, the athletic department, varsity game at New Prairie was canceled. And so it was kind of a home-at-home involving junior varsity and varsity. And again, those games were obviously canceled for clear reasons. There. I'm going to go back to this Facebook Live because I want to make sure I'm not missing any important information that I possibly can be. Forgive me. Say it again. Gotcha. So they just reopened the road. Don, if I can, I'm going to go back to your camera. I want to go back to your camera really quickly because I do see some cars going by. And Emma, if you can hear me, I would like to hear from you about what you are hearing right now and obviously what you're seeing. This all happened a few hours ago. So although we're just reporting the breaking news, this all happened at 3 o'clock. Emma, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm just setting you up here, Emma. Just let me know what you're seeing and obviously what just happened in the last 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, well, just in the last 2 to 3 minutes, you guys just saw some cars going by. They finally reopened US 20. Now, it's been almost 3 hours of that road, this intersection being closed, and all the surrounding roads because of that 4-vehicle crash right here involving 2 school buses. We are now seeing cars drive down on Fail Road here. And again, this intersection is clear. Just in the past hour, we've seen those 2 minibuses being pulled away by the tow trucks, and with the response of the Indiana State Police and the LaPorte County sheriffs, we were able to see them clearing the scene, actively clearing the scene. Now everything is back open, so people are able to get around. Clearly a very high-paced environment over at this intersection. So that is what we are seeing right now. And just speaking to the residents here, the roads have been closed off for a while, and there's just cars driving by right now, and we were able to speak to a resident right at the corner
Emma,
here.
And I don't mean to interrupt, Emma. I just want to make sure you and your team are safe. So because things have opened back up, I want to make sure that you guys move out of the way. So I am getting rid of your live shot for now. I'm making sure that you're safe. If you have any new reporting, I know you were going to mention something about neighbors, but I know it was basically the same thing you said earlier about those neighbors and what they saw and what they heard. You can get that out really quickly, but I just wanted to make sure you knew. I wanted to make sure you guys were safe, okay?
Yeah. All right. Yeah, thanks, Josh. I mean, yeah, traffic is just flowing through here already, so.
Okay. I appreciate you. Emma Brott reporting for us. Emma, thank you. Don, behind the camera, thank you as well. I'll let you guys take down. I know you got to call the newsroom, get updates from them as well. We appreciate your reporting. We appreciate you being out there. So roads just opened back up. Roads just reopened in that area of Fail and US 20. This is about 40 minutes away. I want to show you some new pictures. I believe we have some new pictures and new video from the opposite end of where our team just was. It's a little blurry, but I'm going to show you guys right now. This is a different view from the last 45 minutes. This is before those buses were towed away from one of our other teams on scene there, sending us this video. Again, serious crash right now. We do know there are some people hospitalized. No word on if that's including teachers, coaches, students, but based on all the things that we're reading on social media, and as you know, social media, things happen fast, right? It's just not good right now, but that's all that we can report. And when I say not good, this isn't good at all. Whether or not, you know, you heard Emma talk about this, and this is just being blunt with you all. We have not gotten any reports of the coroner being on scene there, right? And that's a good thing. That is a great thing. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, obviously, because that does not confirm or refute anything. We just want to tell you what we do know and what we have not seen. But even if that is not the case and the worst of the worst has not happened, this is still terrible news for anybody, particularly the families potentially involved here, right? And so that is something that we are just keeping our eyes and ears peeled for. We have looked online to see if there are any updated statements from New Prairie United. We have not seen anything updated from them. They sent out a joint statement about an hour ago, they along with the sheriff's office. And according to the sheriff's office, that was all they were going to be sending out tonight. They did not specify the students or their age. And look, we get it. We got to be human as well. And we can't, you know, there are parents and families who are just finding out about what has happened over the last couple hours. So just want to keep you guys in the know about that. I know I see your comments about what happened and how many helicopters and what was called off and what wasn't, but just want to keep you guys there. I have tissue here. Please go easy on me. I got allergies, and I know a lot of you guys are allergy sufferers as well. That is the latest update that we have. I'm going to show you one more time some of the aerial video that we have. I'm going to start on the ground, though. This is the first image we had of what may have taken place in that area of LaPorte County, about 40 minutes from where I am in South Bend. These are the first pictures we saw not long after we got the first calls about what may have happened. And those calls came in really quickly from people living in the area. And then after that, we were able to get some images from high above as well. These are the images here. Again, this is courtesy of Steve Hampton. Steve, one of the viewers, thank you. We appreciate this. This is, again, gives you the scope of the scene, the number of emergency officials. We see a stretcher there. And that's something I'm seeing for the first time, actually, even though we've shown this video a few times. You we see the stretcher and people being taken away. It's really tough to watch. Really, really tough to watch. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. A lot of you saying, sending prayers. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yep. Sending prayers. I know I appreciate that, but the families do as well. There's a lot of people sending prayers to the families and the school as well. We've gotten no update. Can someone call and make sure that Jackson hasn't got an update from the coach or anything? I know he's sent down. And I doubt it. I doubt it, obviously. And anybody can attest to this fact that, you know, this is an active, fluid situation, and it is unfolding by the minute. So we want to just make sure we're not missing anything, but we also want to respect the investigation and those who are involved in it. So that's that. I'm just looking to make sure. Just making sure. Yep, I'm not seeing anything more here. Steve, thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. Obviously, we're just trying to keep you in the know. 800 people are watching on Facebook Live right now. Several more watching right now on your streaming devices, on your apps, on your Roku, on TV. We appreciate it. Joshua Short with you in our WNDU newsroom where we've been working the breaking news that you just saw involving a crash in LaPorte County. That crash happening shortly after 3 o'clock Central Time, our time, Eastern, right? Eastern Time. It was just after 4 o'clock, so right after we got on the air. Keep in mind, for those not familiar with our area here in Michiana, we're about 40 minutes away. We're 40 minutes east of where this accident took place. And technically, we're an hour and 40 minutes away. And I say that because of the time change. We're right on the border of Eastern and Central Time. And so this happened 3 o'clock Central Time, 4 o'clock or just after Eastern Time. And so we had to navigate that, and that's why I wanted to make sure it was clear to you all. We didn't find out until just about an hour and a half after this took place, because we began getting some calls into our newsroom on what has already been a frenetic day, a busy day for obvious reasons. And so we've been dealing with that. Our team has been doing a stellar job of keeping you in the know about the local impact of so much happening in our world right now, but also we've got to get to the local news, and this is the important news that so many of you depend on, right? We know you got your options, you got your stations you watch, you got your habits. We get it, we respect it. We respect you guys watching us and coming to us for this breaking news, whether it be on digital platforms or right there on your TV, wherever you're watching us. So that is really appreciated. We ask you for your trust, and look, I said this on the air. There are a lot of things we still don't know. There are a lot of things that we are trying to figure out, that we have already put in requests and questions, and we're trying to get confirmation on what we don't know. We can tell you that at least one person was transported to the hospital, I believe, at last check. At least one person, but multiple people were injured. I can tell you that. I can also tell you, based on Emma Brott's reporting, Emma says that they're, at least at the initial stages of this investigation, looking into this criminally. That does not mean that this was a criminal act at this moment. That could change, that could evolve. But when they do that, when police investigations do that, that is for a multitude of reasons, whether in some cases it's due to the resources involved, an all hands on deck approach, and then you can scale back from there. That appears to be one of the reasons why they did this. And Emma Brott reported that earlier today as well. So that is what we know about this investigation based on the facts, based on what so many of you and neighbors have been hearing. This is the baseball team, both varsity and junior. You see it was mini buses involved. These are not the big buses we're talking about. We're talking mini buses here. You can see one of them there. It involves a box truck right on the side of that mini bus, and then there's another bus on its side. Just tragic and horrible. So that's what we are up against right now in terms of the investigation and figuring out more information as people and so many families try to figure out what took place. Some locals in St. Joe County are saying, and this is Facebook comments that I'm looking at, and I'm reading this. I am reading this. This is not confirmed or factually based. I want to be clear on that. This is not confirmed or factually based, but I'm reading your comments out loud. One of the things I'm seeing is no word. We don't know what caused this. We don't know who caused this. We don't know the manner or circumstances. in which this all happened. Let's be clear. A lot of people on Facebook, and I'm going to acknowledge what you guys are saying in these comments, are asking whether or not this happened as a result of a chase involving county police, whether that be St. Joe or LaPorte County. We don't know. We do not know that. I can tell you that at this moment, we have people trying to figure that out, whether or not this was caused by some chase or was this a result of just a faulty traffic signal. There's no traffic signal in this immediate area. Actually, there is, I believe, at that intersection, but we just don't know that. So we can't tell you that's the reason. We can't say that, and we're not going to go based off scanner traffic because that is not always 100% correct. We could tell you that this was bad based off of what we heard on the scanner traffic, but we just don't know in terms of what's verified and confirmed right now. If I go on the record and say things that are not true tomorrow, then I will be the one spreading fake news, and I'm not putting my face to that. So I'm just reading what you guys are saying, and I want to be clear about that right now, and why we're being so cautious about the way we're reporting and responsible as well. I'm continuing to look at some of the comments here. People sharing their personal stories. We got some folks who are, we got a lot of people who have changed their profiles to that symbol, that cougar symbol, right? The Cougars, of course, we're talking about New Prairie and that school district. That is the symbol so many of you recognize. And so I'm seeing a lot of comments, and a lot of the profile pictures have that logo there, that athletic logo. And so that says a lot of people who are alum or just their proximity to this investigation, whether that be they're from the area or even alum or family members of someone involved, that tells the story. It truly does. Someone said that traffic light has a history of bad accidents. Again, we will ask those questions because that's concerning to us. And we can see those comments in real time. And we can tell you that this is not the first time we've heard that as well. 600 people are watching us right now. The numbers are slowly dwindling, at least on Facebook Live, wherever else you're watching us. We appreciate it. I am going to let you guys know really quickly. We are going to be following the story for days to come, obviously, until we learn more information. We are not expecting any new update as of right now, but I am going to make sure at this moment there is no update on Facebook. There is no update from New Prairie, but I am going to make sure of that. And it appears New Prairie United School Corporation did put out something here. I just want to make sure if it's anything new. It is the exact same thing that was read to you before, and I'm going to read it here. The following is a joint statement being released by LaPorte County Sheriff's Office and the New Prairie United School Corporation. This afternoon at 3:16 p.m. local time, that's Central Time, deputies responded to the intersection of US 20 and Fail, referencing a multi-vehicle crash. A total of 4 vehicles were involved in the crash. Two New Prairie, and I want to make sure I'm seeing this right, just for the record. A total of 4 vehicles involved, 2 New Prairie United School Corporation mini buses, 1 commercial motor vehicle. You're seeing all this in the images I'm showing you here. And they said the mini buses were transporting members of an athletic team. Several subjects, they did not specify coaches or teachers or students or drivers. They said several subjects were injured and transported to area hospitals for treatment. The crash is under investigation, and there's no further information to be released at this time. I am looking at what I believe to be the mayor of Hobart. Hobart, Indiana. That is Mayor Josh Huddleston. So the reason I mentioned Hobart is because their school was going to be in an athletic competition with the students, it appears, involved in this. And that is apparently something that the mayor's put out, praying for the New Prairie community. We are continuing to follow this information, obviously, and I'm looking right now to make sure there is no new update. There is not, based on what I'm seeing here, and that is the latest from where things stand right now. So we're going to continue to follow this story throughout the night. If you all do have any tips regarding this situation specifically, obviously WNDU.com, there's a tips tab. You can go there and submit your requests, or I'm very active on my Facebook page. That is Joshua Short TV. You can go there as well if you feel inclined to do so. But we want to be respectful to the families and the investigators and all of those involved in this investigation and in this situation as it unfolds. I'm going to leave you with some of the heartrending images that we initially got when we first brought you this story over 2 hours ago now. As we continue to follow this information, you'll get updates at WNDU.com. We ask you to download our app as well. That is the quickest way you can get it immediately. You can see those push alerts there. You can get it there. It's free. We just want to make sure you're in the know when it comes to everything that we know about this situation. That is all from our newsroom right now at 7:45 Eastern Time. If there's any new breaking news, George Mallet is going to have that for you tonight at 11 o'clock. He is going to be anchoring and leading our coverage of what has been a busy Thursday. So we hope you join us on Channel 16 if you are in our area. For now, we send our thoughts, our prayers, and our positive hopes to the families and people involved in this serious crash investigation in LaPorte County.